Hi, it's Vic. Welcome back to my channel today, and I'm sharing with you a vellum card. So to start with, I've got some vellum paper and I'm just trimming this down and then I'm scoring this in half, and this is going to be our card base. So as the vellum is a paper, I'm going to show you how I bulked this out to make my card, and there you'll see the brand new Cozy Winter A5 stamp set. It's so cute. So here I'm just prepping my vellum, and then I've got some Versamark ink and I'm going to go over this with some white embossing powder, and then I'm going to get my heat gun and heat set the sentiment. Once I've heat embossed the sentiment, I've got some white card and I'm just going to trim this down, and this is actually going to go in the inside part of the card where you're going to write your message, and this will help bulk out the card because, as I said, as it's vellum, it's not going to stand up by itself. So I will show you what else I've done with that card a bit later. So next, once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and I've got some snowflakes from the stamp set. You can see here all the images on there. They're just adorable. I had so much fun making this card. So I'm just basically doing the same thing here. I've got my Versamark ink, and you can't see it on the screen, but it adds as like a sticky glue for your embossing powder to stick to. So I'm just stamping a few of the snowflakes, sprinkling on my embossing powder, and then I'm going to go ahead and add a couple more snowflakes. And then for any extra bits of embossing powder that just seem to get stuck there, I always use a dry paintbrush and I just gently wipe off the bits of powder. And then I'm just going to quickly go and heat emboss the other snowflakes, and then once that's done, I'm going to show you how I bulk out the front of the card. So this will actually make the card stand up. So I've got the Time for Tea Designs landscape edge dies, and I'm going to be using these two slopes here. So I'm just going to go ahead and just die cut them out using some white card. And I always use these dies. They're just, if you haven't got them, I really recommend getting them because you have everything in there to help build your scenes. So now I've die cut them, I'm just going to go ahead and use some double-sided tape, and I'm just going to adhere these down. So by adding the two die cut pieces, and then we've got that piece that's going inside of the card, this will make your card stand up. So I'm just trimming off them edges that were hanging over, and then I'm going to go ahead and stamp my images. So I've used this adorable bunny image. These two bunnies, I think they're probably my favourite along with the bear. They're just so sweet. So I've got some Memento tuxedo black ink and some Copic friendly paper, and I'm just stamping out my images, and now I'm going to go and do some colouring. So for my colouring, I've got my Copic markers that I've listed on the screen, and I'm starting off with the lightest colour first, and then I'm going to go in with my middle colour, and then I'm going to use the darkest colour, which is a W5. So I've got one layer down, and then what I do is I go in with the middle colour, add some shading, and then the darkest colour I've just gone around the edges just slightly, and then I've gone over the colouring again with my lightest colour to blend it all in. And then I'm doing exactly the same for the second bunny, using exactly the same colours. And then for his little tail, I've just used an E50 marker just to add a little bit of definition. And now I've got the R20, so I've added some rosy red cheeks, and then I'm just going ahead and colouring in the scarves. And then I will use my white gel highlighter, and I just add this to their cheeks and to their body just to add a little bit more texture. And now I'm just moving on to the bear, which is the cutest bear ever. I love him, he's so cute. So I've used my E43, E41 and E40 marker for his body, and I've done exactly the same thing as before. I've started with my lightest colour, added a little bit of shading with the middle colour, and then the darkest colour I'm just going around the edges, and then I'm adding some ears and some rosy cheeks, and then I'm going to go ahead and colour in his scarf and coffee cup. And then the last part of the colouring, I've got an E31 marker, and I'm just going to add some little dots of texture just on his body, just to give him a little bit more definition. And once the colouring's complete, I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut these out with my scissors. There is coordinating dies available for these stamps. So once both images are cut out, I'm going to go ahead and adhere these onto my card. So I've just got some foam pads here, and I'm just adhering them onto the card, making sure that the foam isn't peeking through on the vellum. And then this is the insert of the card. So here I've got some distress ink, and I've used some bundled sage, and I've got a little tree out of the stamp set. So I thought it'd be quite cute just to add them to the bottom of the card. And then I've got a beautiful blender brush and some tumbled glass ink, and I'm just gently just going around the edges of the white card to make like a very light sky. And then to secure this down to my card, I've got some PVA glue, so I'm just applying that to the back, and then I'm adhering it down into the middle of the card, so that's where you're going to write your sentiment. Next I have the Fa La 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 scalloped slimline die. That always makes me smile when I say that, because I'm always getting my words muddled up. So now I've got the beautiful snowflakes out of this die set. So I've just got some white card, I'm running them through my die cutting machine, and I have a pokey tool here just to get the little bits out, because these snowflakes are so detailed, they're so beautiful. So I'm going to be adding them to my card, and I'm just shaping them a little bit, and I'm adhering them down with some PVA glue, and I'm using my pokey tool just to press them down. And then once I've adhered my snowflakes, I've got some sequins, so I'm just going to go ahead and just adhere them onto my card. And I loved how this card turned out, because I don't normally use vellum as a card base, and it's just nice to do something a little bit different. And I think it just goes really well with these stamps because they're just so cute. So that is our finished card. This is how it looks at the end, and then you have enough space to write your greeting. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Bye.